Good morning everyone. Magandang umaga, marhay na aga sa gabos. Maayong buntag sa tanan. We are honored to have the chairperson, CEO of the National Commission for Senior Citizen as one of our respondents in our research funded by the Australian grant. First, I am Doc Nick Sanchez. I'm one of the research head. Uh, with me right now is Atty. Franklin Quijano, uh, Kuya Frank, Tito Frank, Lolo Frank, Atty. Frank. Sir, good morning. Magandang umaga po. Pwede po ba naming makuha yung consent nyo dito sa interview at para din po ma-publish ang ating recorded video interview?
Good morning, Nick. Good morning, everyone. My name is Franklin Quijano. I am the chairperson of the National Commission of Senior Citizen, and being the chairperson, I am obliged, and therefore I'm giving permission to the interview this morning.
Thank you so much. Dagang salamat, Kuya Frank, Lolo Frank, and Tito Frank. Pwede po bang pakibate ang ating mga senior citizens, mga around 9 to 10 million Filipino senior citizens na makikinig at mapanood tong video na to?
Maayong buntag, magandang umaga. Assalamualaikum. Mapia kapipita. We are pleased to share the good graces of Nick Sanchez, who is going to bring us literature on neo-normal and the National Commission of Senior Citizen, which has just been created through Republic Act 11350 for the first time. A body in government is created to focus on the needs and the plans and the programs, activities of the senior citizen will be managed, and the National Commission of Senior Citizen will soon roll out itself. We have just been created in 2019, but the filling up of positions started in 2020. So I was installed in September, October of 2020. And that is why we are still in the process of formulating not only the implementing rules and the organizational structure, but including the strategies and the ways to move forward. And therefore, we need the participation of all senior citizens who, from the information I got, is 10.4 million. And so maybe if we exchange notes, Nick, you would be able to tell me if that is accurate. And if it is not, how do we establish a database for senior citizen that is more reliable? So I have lots of things to usher out to you, including the soul of the National Commission of Senior Citizens.
Yes, Chairperson, Sir Frank, it's history. You're the first chairperson of the National Commission for Senior Citizen. In other countries, they call it Department of Aging. So ano po yung, paki-explain na rin po, ano po yung pinaka-responsibilidad and functions ng ating National Commission for Senior Citizens?
Well, if you will notice, there have been about 4 or 5 legislations already regarding senior citizen. In 1992, law was passed, Republic Act 7432, stating that senior citizens are indispensable partners in nation building. But even as they are indispensable partners in nation building, senior citizens are also in need, and therefore some attention have to be given to the senior citizen. Following that law, and that is the basis for all the amendments, 7432, etc. The last is 9994, and of course the latest is 11350. The National Commission of Senior Citizen is now the single unit of government that will focus on the senior citizen, not only as partner in nation building, but also on the issue of health, wellness, welfare, protection, etc. So we are now here to listen to you as well, because the responsibility of the commission is really that broad. And if there are certain things that you think we need to do and have been overlooked by the laws that have been passed, maybe you should be able to tell us how. What we are really looking at is participatory processes in managing the National Commission of Senior Citizens. As we go roll out, we really hope that the senior citizen will also express all their feelings, their sentiments, and their expectation of their role in nation building. Thank you, Nick, for all this question.
Yes, Chairperson, Sir Frank. Dumako naman tayo, Chairperson, Chair. Ano yung new normal para sa'yo?
Well, I would say that is going to be a very broad definition as of now. Kasi yung new normal ay new normal sa nakakalabas, new normal sa hindi nakakalabas, at new normal sa gustong lumabas at hindi pinalalabas. So what we are really saying is, I hope that this is not yet new normal. We are still in the stage of pandemic, and we really would like to together help define what new normal is in the future. We cannot actually say new normal is a certain definition. It should be a collective societal definition, as I see that even the interpretations of authority has changed through time.
Yes, sure. How did you adapt successfully to this new normal or to this current situation?
Well, that's quite a hard question, Nick. For the past several trips that I made from Mindanao to Manila, I do not take an airplane ride. So nagbabiyahe pa ako using a car trip coming from Mindanao to Visayas, and then Visayas to Luzon. Takes me about two nights and 3 days. But to me, that's the safest way. So one of the criteria in the senior citizens' role in the new normal is to really improve safety. We want to be under the umbrella of safe spaces. And of course, you will see that there are those who are affected because our society may need to define some more the safe spaces.
Yes, very important. You mentioned about the safe spaces for elderly-friendly communities and societies, Chairperson.
Yeah.
Can you explain your vision about these safe spaces and elderly-friendly barangay or municipality and city?
Well, sometimes we govern with knee-jerk reactions. When there is trouble, we immediately tell our populace stay at home, because home is where there is safety. A house becomes a home when there is harmony and safety. So there's a tendency that the house is a safe space, right?
Yes.
But then again, we are a society and we have to define how we will cooperate and interact as a society. In fact, if we expand that concept some more into the concept of a sustainable environment, we will say, you know, this earth has to multiply itself sustainably. And so the concept of biodiversity comes into play, that animals, plants must be able to multiply itself, so that with animals and plants multiplying itself in a manner that can be sustainable, man who is dependent on resources, man who is dependent on the sea and the air and the mountains, will also survive. So following that parallelism of biodiversity, I would like also to say that man, who has so much in will and the capability to plan, should be able to also define a community, a township, which should be safe. And therefore, both children and elderlies who may tend to be threatened may find some solace pwedeng pumunta sa lugar where it is safe. Usually, we consider the plazas, the forested areas, the parks to be safe places. But going to the park is another thing. The connectivity to safe places is very important. So, iyan po ang nakikita kong pwedeng i-define natin as safe space. The house, a group of, or an area where a group of people can safely interact with each other, and the connection between these areas, which are safe, and the house should be encouraged through planning, through legislation, through whatever means. But safe spaces will really have to be constructed in our society for our community and for humanity to be able to sustain itself.
Yes, Chairperson. This is the most challenging times for senior citizens, even that they are the most vulnerable to COVID-19. What are your thoughts about it?
Well, I just wish that, like the NCSC, National Commission of Senior Citizens, is dreaming of wide participation and inclusivity in decision making. We should also be able to participate widely, meaning to say from the barangay levels to the municipal levels, to the cities, to the provinces, to the regions, and to the national levels. If policy making and decision making will get some thoughts from the senior citizens, perhaps we would be able to widen the latitude of choices and therefore decision. From how I see things, there could be, our leaders here are senior citizens. Maybe about almost one half of our cabinet members are senior citizens. They are actually the senior citizens who are active. But then policy has to find its place in governance. And we say, even as we have senior citizens in government, we hope that there will be more participation of senior citizens in governing our country, in improving the economy. As you will notice, the senior citizens have been the heroes when they were very vigorously working. Some of them right now are retired, but a lot of them are still actively working. You have the farmers in the field, you have the fishermen at sea, and you have the entrepreneurs, the captains of industry. Most of them, a lot of them are senior citizens. And when this happens, you will say that senior citizens, with their experience, they're being heroes who can be able to help create a rebound and a turnaround of our economy. So I'm really hopeful for the senior citizens, most especially if our society, our governing machineries will open wider their doors to a lot of participatory discussions.
Yes, in my research chair, but more than half of senior citizens consider themselves as head of the family, especially for those OFW families. So they're the one guiding their opposed and taking care of them. So,
Well, I do not wish to bring you to the deficit approaches. If you notice, I would rather that the National Commission of Senior Citizen would be more appreciative and positive. But then again, I cannot deny the fact that in the past, hundreds of years ago, the seniors, even before the name Philippines came, the senior citizens are leaders in their own right. They're leaders of the tribe, they're leaders of the family, and therefore we would like to restore integrity in the leadership of the senior citizen, especially because outlook may have changed, mindset may have changed, and there's a tendency that the senior citizen is just being relegated to being the taker, when in reality, senior citizens are the senior citizens as givers in the society. And then as the aging process comes, we also would like to hope that society will understand that we need your attention over welfare, over wellness, over health, over aging, housing, attention. The storytelling that the senior citizen starts to do is really an important part of aging. And to me, all these things, I hope, will be given attention to, not only by the National Commission of Senior Citizens, but the society as a whole.
Yes. Chair, you mentioned about the importance of social interaction, participation of our older persons, senior citizens. We have 10 million, more than 10 million Filipino senior citizens now, based on projection. So basically, given this, the restrictions and the safety protocols, what's your advice for them?
Well, we are really we have to comply with decisions in government. Even as we appeal for openness and liberality, we cannot say, don't believe government. That is a wrong way. To me, the safety protocols that are being defined by IATF are there, but I have written them and appealed to them that there are certain practices that we can promote in order to make a recovery in the economy. I'll give you an example, Nick.
Yes, please.
Sa Binisaya, kaming mga nunang na edad, na nami sa kilom-kilom sa among kahaponon o hinaot nga atong katilingban mupahulam sa ilahang kabuntagon aron pinaagi niini mas amo pang matagamtam ang tumang kalipay o kabuhong. I'd like to translate that in English. Nahirapan ako kasi mag-translate sa Tagalog. Or maybe I'll try Tagalog. Kaming senior citizen ay nasa takip silim na po. At hinihingi po namin ang buong sambayanan, ang ating society, na sana naman ipahiram nila yung umaga para mas matamasa namin yung buhay. We are actually on our pre-departures. We are on our dapit hapon. And we would like to hope that society will lend us the mornings. What is the practical implication of this, Nick? The department stores, the pharmacies, the grocery stores, even the malls, are supposed to be cleaning up in the evenings. Kaya malinis po ang environment ng mga establishment na ito in the evening. And in the morning, malinis pa ba o hindi? Sa palagay ko, malinis pa naman.
Yes.
Dahil nilinis sa gabi. Now, if you really are protective of the senior citizen, can't we allow the senior citizen to buy their necessities, their groceries in the morning? Maski 1 or 2 hours lang, Nick. 1 or 2 hours during the morning. Kasi si senior citizen wakes up early.
Yes, maagang nagigising pa.
At 4 or 5. So the senior citizen can prepare and maybe go to the groceries at 8 or 9. They are done by 10 or 11. And so the general public can come in afterwards.
Correct.
I hope this will give so much to the senior citizen. And by the way, Nick, the senior citizens have the purchasing power.
Yes pa. Correct.
Pagka nilagay mo siya sa bahay, Nick, at ayaw mong ipakilos, yung pera hindi rin lalabas. Di ba?
Agree. Correct pa.
If you allow him to go around, then it's going to be a fodder to the rebound of this economy. Because this economy prospers because of consumption. Consumption, one of the keys to consumption is with the senior citizen. I hope that yung practical importance lang nito, I know that there is a debate going on between a section saying na wag na wag kayong lumabas. And then the other says, but how can the economy grow pag walang consumption? So the economic sector and the pandemic control sector is really on a seesaw. From my point of view, as long as clean yung environment, as long as my safe space, allow the senior citizens, even bringing along their grandchildren, to point out what goods to buy, and then you will rebound in your economy. That's my hope. Now, have I been effective in convincing? There are some certain entrepreneurs who are sympathizing, but I think we should really take a serious look on this. Ang nakikita kasi natin na medyo we are really so bothered and affected because of the spike of COVID in certain areas. And sadly, pag nag-spike ang one area, all the rest of the country says don't move. But then again, this is an absurd question. This is argumentum ad absurdum. But is there a COVID in Mount Apu or in Sierra Madre or in, so there are places which by the very nature of the place, it could be considered safe space. And farmers are even allowed, according to DA regulations, farmers are allowed to go to their farms. And that includes the senior citizen because these areas are safe spaces. I hope we will engage and we will expand our engagement in a manner that will convince our decision makers and our society that we just have to be very critical about our movements and not converge and stay in confined spaces.
Correct. Chair, the most active and organized people's organizations are the senior citizens or the Federation of Senior Citizens. And you have Office of the Senior Citizens Affairs, OSCA, in every cities and municipalities. What are your advice for them or thoughts on how they can help their own communities and in fighting this pandemic?
I would agree with you that one of the most organized sector in our society are the senior citizens. Not only because they have the need, but also because they have the experience. And they know that organizing a good meeting is one ideal thing. Of course, there are limiting factors. There even are certain problems. But I would like to say that maybe with the National Commission of Senior Citizens, we should engage some more and bring about that concept called continuous improvement. We should interact in a manner that will continually improve the configuration of the organization, the effectiveness and effectivity, and the delivery. And hope that politics, the ugly head of politics, will not get into the picture.
As the first chairperson of the National Commission for Senior Citizens, what's your message to more than 10 million Filipino senior citizens in this time of pandemic?
Well, we seek your understanding that we are on the birthing stages. Right now, we wanted to hit the ground running, but we also need to look at our organizational development. We don't have an organizational structure yet, Nick. So we only have the 4 commissioners and a handful of support team. And we are covering what? 7,000 islands?
More than 7,000 islands.
We are covering an area of we are covering an area of 115,000 square miles, and therefore we need to multiply fast. And we are hoping that our senior citizens will be active enough to look at the question of where do we go from here? What is the moving forward in a manner that will make the National Commission of Senior Citizen a very lively organism that brings in lots of positive thoughts, positive ideas, plans, programs, and activities.
Chairperson Quijano, your words of wisdom for the youth, for the family, for the community, in promoting safe spaces for our senior citizens.
Well, I have been in the university like you, Nick. I've been teaching as well. But theories are not enough. So we have to apply our theories and bring it out. So I went to politics, and I realized that there is so much that we should fight for, to struggle for, so that the good things that we learn in the universities can be brought into practices in governance. And I realized that, you know, knowing the answer is not enough. It should really be people embracing the answer that you know. And so it really must be a participatory process, that people will embrace the things that need to be done to make our lives fulfilling, starting from children who needs also to be given attention to right now, because just staying at home may tend to have certain negative or you know, negative implications. And up to the senior citizen, we really have to adjust and evolve the relationship in what is the so-called new normal. But take a look at how we should strengthen the family, strengthen society, strengthen government. So Nick, a lot of things need to be spelled, but with you around and with the youth and our children, I know that we will be able to define a better Philippines. Good morning, Nick. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to the first ever chairperson of the National Commission on Senior Citizen. We call him Kuya Frank, Tito Frank, Lolo Frank, Attorney Frank, and the servant of the Filipino senior citizens. We have here chairperson, Attorney Franklin Quijano. Kuya Frank, Lolo Frank, Tito Frank, thank you so much. Daghang salamat po.
Salamat po, Sokran. God bless. God bless.